Hello, it's Jim Hutchens for the Jerusalem Connection Spot Report for this week. Today, the Palestinians are making their appeal to the United Nations for a unilateral establishment of statehood, totally apart from any further negotiations with Israel. This could be a monumental milestone in the geopolitical issues related to the Middle East. But more importantly, it's an act of arrogant and flagrant defiance against the God of Israel. God has said who that land belongs to, and he will not be denied his decree. I want to read a portion of a statement, an article that was written by one of our contributing columnists from Israel, Stan Goodenough. He said this: the territory upon which the UN would establish a state of Palestine is that land where Abraham walked when God promised it to him and his descendants after him forever. It is that land where Jacob lived and through which he traveled when God made it clear that his promise to Abraham was to his seed through the bloodline of Isaac and Jacob. It is that land which Israel's founding fathers purchased property and where they lie buried. It is that land conquered by the Israelites under Joshua and given as an inheritance to the tribes of Judah, Benjamin, Ephraim, and the half-tribe of Manasseh. It is that land where for nearly 400 years the tabernacle stood in which Samuel served and where the people of Israel worshipped. It is that land where David was born and from which and over which he reigned. It is that land that contains the Jerusalem of biblical times, in which Solomon, Zerubbabel, and Herod built the Jewish temples, and where in Solomon's days God's glory was visibly revealed to the Israelites. It is that land where Jesus was born, and in which he ministered, where he was crucified, buried, rose again, and from which he ascended. It is that land to which he will return. And I would just say as a side, he will return to the Mount of Olives, the scriptures tell us, and that if that becomes a part of the Palestinian state, East Jerusalem would be the capital of that Palestinian state. I don't think Jesus is going to be returning to a Palestinian state. It is that land God specifically promised to restore the Jews to after they were dispersed among the nations. It is that land the United Nations will vote this month on taking, quote, legally out of the hands of the Jewish people and placing it into the hands of Muslim Arabs, the vast majority of whom have been raised on a hate-rich diet of warmongering and anti-Israel thoughts. If there is such a thing as a temporary Palestinian state, I would emphasize it will indeed be temporary. It will not stand. God has already determined who that land belongs to and who shall ultimately occupy it and rule over it. For example, he says in Amos chapter 9, I will bring back my exiled people Israel. They will rebuild the ruined cities and live in them. They'll plant vineyards and drink their wine. They'll make gardens and eat their fruit. I will plant Israel in their own land, never again to be uprooted from the land I have given them. Never again to be uprooted, says Yahweh your God. Scriptures are clear who this land belongs to, and God will not be denied what he has decreed. And in addition to that, the promise still stands. I will bless those who bless you, and I will curse those who curse you. Those who would try to deny God's decrees await the curse of God. Until next week, Od Yavo Shiloh. Till Messiah comes, Shalom Aleichem.